Happy Father's Day from the Lone Star State as Austin FC2 seek to continue their historic streak against Western Conference foe Sporting Kansas City 2. From Palmer Field, I'm Philip Galati. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. The hosts have gone 11 unbeaten, yet to drop a result since the season opener back in March. The visitors tonight, though, should provide tough competition. Kansas City found the back of the net 3 times in their last outing and 3 times the game before that, too. Should be all-out offense tonight as match week 15 comes to a close in MLS Next Pro. As for the starting 11 for both sides, we'll start, as always, with the host tonight. Head coach Jason Shackle and company lining up in a 4-3-3. Eric Louncer, the defending goalkeeper of the month, gets the nod at the back. Meanwhile, a change in midfield. Keenan Hott on the left. Mohamed Badawiya with his 3rd start of the year on the right. And then in between them, the birthday boy, Marcel Russell, Chicago native, came up through Torino's academy in Italy and gets the nod in the first 11 tonight. Up top, Ibrahima Saul leads the way with 3 goals to his name. Eric Feliciano, the rising young star of the month, on the right. And to the left, Diego Abarca to round out the top of the line. As for Sporting Kansas City 2, head coach Lee Chantred has made a couple of changes. Jack Courtcamp back in between the posts. Pierre Leroux anchoring the back line. The Frenchman has been with the club now in his 2nd year, the former Big Ten championship winner with Michigan. In midfield, Carter Dirksen gets the nod, 18 years of age, a member of the SKC U18s who had 23 appearances last year and is well on his way to that number again this year. Blame maybe to the right, Gael Quintero to the left, and then up top, Shane Donovan playing as the number 9, but keep an eye on his movement, especially with Misael Rodriguez to his left. Those two might be switching things around, staying very fluid as the game goes on. Keep an eye out as well for Kashawn Hines to enter off the bench with some goals to his name. So SKC2 in the blue on the left, the verde and black on the right. We are just about ready to dance. Amin Hadjic is the referee tonight. He sounds his whistle. Shane Donovan with the right foot to get the ball rolling in the 2nd meeting this season between these two sides. The last one back at the end of May. It was a 3-0 win for Austin on the road. Diego Abarca in the 14th minute. Ibrahima Saul 10 minutes later. And then Marcel Russo off the bench in after halftime rather, to seal all 3 points. All 3 of those players starting tonight. A lot of rotation for this Austin side that, again, has gone 11 unbeaten now. Currently their club record winning streak. And Coach Jason Shackle saying that since preseason, since day 1, this entire squad has bought into the mantra of adaptability. No matter who's on the pitch, they're getting the job done. Here's Haas. 20 yards out. Moves it along quickly. Flag does go up in the end against Misael Rodriguez. As the referee is down off the ball. Amin Hadjic needs to be checked out by the trainers. Just a little trip up there by accident. The play continued on without him, but he appears to be up and all ready to go. Of course, there always is a 4th official on hand if need be. It looks like the referee will be all right to soldier on. So the restart is in fact a dropped ball. Possession judged to be with Austin. And Eric Lautze will just send it long in a sporting gesture all the way back to Jack Courtcamp. The high press, something to keep an eye on tonight for Austin. It's very measured when they go about putting pressure on the back line. It isn't a constant stream of forward motion, but when they do decide to turn up the gas pedal, that's when things can get tricky. And again, that's when things can open up in transition like this for Kansas City. Contested header. Back down in front. Lautze settling as Austin find their shape. Sporting Kansas City, too, have been unfortunate not to get on the side of a couple of results. Remember, last time out, they scored 3 goals. Still lost that game 4-3 to MNUFC2, who come off a big win yesterday over St. Louis. They scored 5 in that match, the Twos. Most they've scored in a match since 2022, the debut year of MLS Next Pro. But as for that tough 4-3 result, head coach Lee Sanchez says sometimes you can play your best and it still doesn't go your way. That is the nature of this league, the talent on hand in MLS Next Pro. One bounce of a ball, one gust of wind, one half-second decision. One way versus the other, and that is the difference between 3 points and none. Feliciano. First cross blocked bravely by Maybe. De Bruyne. Another name rotated in this week, Dren De Bruyne. Started to see more starts as of late at that left back position. Former A10 All-Championship team at Daytona. And NAAC Rookie of the Year at Siena. It's not often you get so many players healthy and ready to go at this point in the season, said head coach Jason Shackle. But also speaks to the level of competition that Austin has with their historic winning streak. That is still so difficult, said Coach Shackle, to pick that first 11. Eric Lautze has been a consistent name in the starters list, so too is Jules Berry. He has Monaco Academy product, the Frenchman. The real anchor point of how they want to play the ball from the back. Berry given time, likes to go short. This is the patience that Austin exudes. Not rushing it. Playing the simple ball, just waiting for the player to become available. Sprayed wide to the far side. It'll be too heavy for Feliciano to get there. Rather, it's Diego Abarca. Already switching sides with Eric Feliciano down at the bottom of your screen. That sort of freedom of positioning is what makes Austin so dangerous, because it's one thing to tell players, go wherever you want, check back for the ball, make the runs in behind, split the defender. But it's another thing to be able to recover, keep the shape, and know where your teammates are. It's a lovely ball through for De Bruyne, standing it up to the back post. Some contact in there as the player goes down. It was over the head of Abarca. Doesn't make many appeals to the refereeing crew, and instead it's an Austin throw. Whistle sounds right at midfield. Kansas City were looking to break. That's a poor pass the other way. Here's Saul racing forward. Options to his right. Try to pick out Badawia. Has to turn back. Swept in, and Feliciano was there at the back post. Just overhit. As Austin looked to get the hot start. Elsewhere around the league, New York City tied one apiece with Chattanooga. Red Bull New York 2 up 2-0 over Toronto. As Orlando chase a Philly lead on home soil 1-0. And then, of course, a little bit later tonight, weekend wrapping up with Tacoma Defiance taking on Real Monarchs at 10 o'clock Eastern. That match available for free on MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. Lovely little turn in midfield there. A few numbers forward, but Rodriguez will try and take it himself as much as he can. That'll be a great battle to watch as the night goes on. Misael Rodriguez against Daniel Chesla out at right back. Opportunity for a shot from range and a speculative attempt in the end. But making better decisions in the final third was another point of emphasis. Talking to head coach Lee Santra earlier this week, with so many talented academy players, sometimes it can be a little bit of a deer in headlights. The eyes go wide. You see the goal wide open in front of you, he says. The first instinct is to have a go, take a shot, try your luck. Sometimes there's a smarter decision to be had. Here's Badawia for Feliciano. No option for the one-time ball. De Bruyne now. Hot directing traffic as Feliciano's pulled over. Jack Franca conceding the foul, and this is decent territory for a ball whipped in. See how much contact there is there. He's got at least one hand on the back of the shirt, and the referee is right on hand to make the call. This is probably too far out for a shot, but interesting to see what kind of conversations are being had. Keenan hot on the left. Trent De Bruyne to his right. He favored the in-swinging service of De Bruyne here on the left foot. Only 3 in the wall for Kortkamp. Feliciano was showing short too. Nobody's picked him up on the left side of your screen. Looking to stay on side. It is sent into the box towards Saul with the glancing header. Wide of the mark in the end, but not by much. Does really well to get up and create the space, generate the torque. Just whipping the upper body into the ball. It's a decent header from that far away, but Kortkamp looked to have it covered. Kansas City would do well to keep the ball here. Dirksen just able to stave off Hot. Leroux. Line-breaking ball came off an Austin player last. De Bruyne doesn't think so. And the referee says it is his ball. Maybe one of the very rare times that a protest has worked in a player's favor. This is exactly the game that Austin want. keep Kansas City behind midfield and then play passes like that through the space, utilize the pace of Ibrahim Assal. Again, the high press coming into effect. Quintero, shoulders off hot. He's won it here cleanly. Gael Quintero bombarding down the right wing and pulling it back. Dirksen one more time, and the volley dragged wide. And Shane Donovan up top in that number 9 role. Usually not where we see Shane Donovan. Likes to drift out to the wing, but look at his movement here. He's staying home right in the center of the park. The first touch is a little bit behind him, tries to overcompensate with the power. It's not a terrible effort by any means, but a player of his caliber will be demanding more of himself. Donovan appeared in almost every match last year. Didn't have a goal, but did have 2 assists. And talking to head coach Leach Sanchez at the start of the year, he said Donovan would be one to keep an eye on. He's got 3 goals this year. And 3 assists as well. 19 years of age, Kansas City native. Work rate is second to none, said Coach DeSantre. That's what makes him so deadly. And then now, if he can just add to his productivity a little bit, as he has been, that is what is going to bring him to the next level. Donovan now. Bended from behind. It's an excellent tackle, though, by Marcel Russell. As an attacker, those are the ones that you can't let stay in your head. Have to just pop right back up. Memory of a goldfish, soldier on. The best attackers in the game are only going to get by their mark a couple of times out of 10. It's about making the most of those opportunities when you get them. And maybe an opportunity here. Nervy back pass, allowed to scrambling off his line. Sends it into the 10. Now Kansas City flexing their muscle a little bit in terms of the press. Saul's covered a lot of ground there to keep that alive. May get his reward here in behind. Going over. Didn't look like much in that. Well-timed challenge by Abarca. Here's Berry. Not a lot of options showing short. Saul trying his best to take it down. Finds its way to Feliciano. Russell, good ball. Austin finding the passing lanes with relative ease as they progress it forward. And then a poor mistake. Sees Dirksen's speed the other way. Needing reinforcements. Putting his arms up as if to say, where are they? Short as maybe. They'll just have to recycle here. Leroux. Intercepted and he's out of position. And now Saul can break. Has the underlap to his right side. Still with Saul. Dancing by 2. Brought down by a 3rd, and referee says no. Ibrahim Assal motion to his feet. And slow to rise as well. Everybody else has dropped back into midfield for Austin. It's a very measured shape from the hosts. Defending as a unit. Sending one to press the ball and making sure the cover's there behind. Abarca now in pursuit. Brave defending to intercept that one. Haas is calling for it. Referee says there was a pull there. They'll go all the way back. And you can see out of possession that 3 up top for Austin almost becomes like a 2. As Saul waits for a second option in pursuit of the ball. Feliciano still trying to track it down. Here's Quintero. Wants the 1-2 with Donovan. He's got it. Coach DeSandre barking from his technical area to play quick. Don't sit on the ball. Move it quickly. 1-2 touch passing, something that Austin really excels at. And then the moments like this where they slow it down, that's where they get to reset. Coach Jason Shackle telling us earlier this week that he's always really believed in speed of play. That it's so hard to defend a team if they can move the ball quickly. Man with over 500 professional appearances across a 17-year playing career. He said the biggest challenge for me as a player was playing against quick teams. If he can get his group to do the same, that's what will make them the most dangerous. Already gesticulating from his sideline. Intercepted by Donovan. Quintero. Lost his balance. That one slips away. Hot now. Has a pocket. Saul not making the run just yet. Backline dropping back for SKC2. And the referee has sounded the whistle again. Will there be a card here? A warning at the very least. Sam Worcester, that is the guilty party. And he is late to that. There's a lunge in there. I don't think there's enough for a reckless challenge, which would classify it as a yellow card. But the referee seeming to disagree. De Bruyne intercepting. Numbers forward here for Austin. Waiting in the box. De Bruyne showing short. It's a solo run instead. And a lovely shot as Diego Abarca does it all himself. Just kept dribbling and dribbling till he found a pocket of space and took his shot in some style. It's the quick transition in midfield. Intercepted by De Bruyne all the way out wide to Abarca. Keeping it on that favorite left foot. So difficult running away from goal like that. And then that touch there with the right foot just to get it back in front of him so he can step through the ball for his 3rd of the season. It is a rocket into the roof of the net. And Austin take the early lead. Well, he just kept going, and that's why. Thought he might move it along, but when you have a left foot like that, there's really no need.
SC2 goal scored by number 7, Diego
Abarca, the Texas native, born in El Paso, only had 1 goal for the club last year. Now up to 3 on the campaign tonight, his 4th start. "51 career appearances for the club. His 5th all-time goal in the midst of his career season for the Verde and Black. And as they have done a few times this year, SKC2 find themselves in an early hole. But they are no stranger to adversity. They have been able to play to some incredible results and comebacks over the last few weeks. Take a few weeks ago when they played Colorado back in May. Rapids 2 took the lead in the 16th minute. Sporting KC won that game 3-1. We're able to rally against 10-man Rapids 2. Here's Haas, poked away. Quintero, Dirksen, Rodriguez. He loves to go on his right foot from there. Instead, one more time for Franca now. Whipped in towards Rodriguez, and the glancing header sends it away. Exactly the sort of response that head coach Leitch Sanchez would want to see from his side. Here's Saul, 2-on-2 if he can find Feliciano. He may not need him. Saul will go himself to the byline, and it is a goal kick after some excellent defending by Pierre Leroux. The Frenchman Pierre Leroux, born in Bourges. Played his college ball with the University of Michigan. Consistent starter for the club last year. 25 appearances, nearly 2,500 minutes. A leader no matter where he is, said head coach Leitch Sanchez. He can play inside, defend man-to-man, be the ball-playing center back they need. Jack of all trades. This portion of the match is brought to you by O'Reilly, official auto parts partner of Austin FC 2. So that goal in the 22nd minute, in terms of the standings, has some big movement. As Lauta comes off his line, it was offside anyways. Coming into tonight, Austin FC 2 were second in the West, tied on 31 points with Houston Dynamo Dos, who dropped a result earlier this week on Wednesday as Tacoma Defiance overcame a first half deficit on home soil to win 2-1. Now, currently, Austin FC 2 on 34 points and sole possession of the Western Conference. It would be their 10th win of the season in 14 matches. Just one loss all the way back at the start of the year. But there is a lot of soccer left to be played. Switch to the other side. Not the best pass, but able to be kept in touch. Saul fighting for it with Leroux. Another battle to keep an eye on tonight. Two very physical, talented players. Going to fight tooth and nail for every 50-50 duel. SKC2 don't have a way forward just yet. Dirksen gets the 1-2. That'll open up some space. Quintero trying to turn. Back for Haas. Trivella ball a little bit under hit. Abaruka going to step the goal scorer hot on the heels of Worcester. And a trip there right in front of the SKC2 bench. As the referee will motion both sides to the bench for the cooling break. A hot evening here in Texas, and both sides will refuel and regroup. This portion of the match is brought to you by SHI, official partner of Austin FC2. It is Diego Abarca's third of the season that separates these two sides back in the 22nd minute. Austin really hadn't had a lot of looks at goal until that one. In fact, their first shot on target thus far. But keep an eye on the movement here of Diego Abarca. Picks up the ball at the outside of the box, and then he's dribbling away from goal here, across his body, and then that touch right there with his right foot back into the penalty yard. That's when he's able to finally set himself and step through the ball. And it's those fine margins. That little feint of the right shoulder, that's what really separates the good from the great. And the players of this Austin FC2 side, what makes them so dangerous. It's just the little intricacies of the game. That touch in front of his body, he's able to step through it, keep that shot underneath the crossbar. If that touches straight out in front of him or behind him, then he's striking behind the ball. He's leaning back. His shoulders are pointed up to the sky, and that's probably where the ball ends up. That is not an easy feat to strike through it on the run like that across goal. But the best always make it look so doable. So just about ready to resume play once again. Curious what head coach Lita Santret has for his side. Speaking with a couple of the bench players right now. In his first year as the head coach of the second team. Head coach of the U18 since the 23-24 campaign. And has coached a number of these players through the years to their professional debuts. And he says that's what it's all about. The joy of coaching is watching these young men grow off the field and on it, becoming the professionals they've always dreamed of being. It's what makes this league so special and that job so special. Always a pleasure to chat with former captain of the United States futsal team, Lita Santret. Of course, his son Cello Santret, the captain of this side for many years before signing as a homegrown this year. Joined the academy in 2021, made a couple of appearances this year. and 3 goals for the club in 2025 before getting his first team contract in Major League Soccer. That's a misplayed pass, and Saul is onside since it came off the defender, and Saul is denied from point-blank range. And no, the referee does say offside now. Well, that's interesting because traditionally, if it comes off a defensive player, it's not offside. Here's the first ball. He's clearly offside there. And then right there, that looks like it came off a blue shirt last, which would play him onside. Referee says it came off of Feliciano instead and raises the flag. He had the better view of it. Challenge came in, ball won cleanly. Now Feliciano goes down. The referee motions him up to his feet as well. Whistle staying silent. .36 minute now from Palmer Field. Second meeting this season between these two sides. Philip Galati with you for MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. The referee will halt proceedings as Ibrahim Assal is down. The Dakar, Senegal native turned 21 just a few weeks ago. Looks ready to soldier on. Signed from Notaresco Calcio in the Italian 4th tier Serie A. Looks like he'll be all right. Here's that high press from Austin and a little bit too much contact. You could see the reaction because Marcel Russell knew he was away. Bit of a shove there, it looked like, against Carter Dirksen. If the arms weren't extended, that very well might be 2-0 Austin. It's a tough call. I think it's the right one, though. Hasn't been an overly physical contest yet. Still no yellow cards. Couple players maybe working their way towards some, but temperature still at a somewhat moderate level at the moment. Discipline, a big talking point for both of these teams. Has to go down to 10, and this sort of matchup would be likely met with dire consequences. Cleanly won back, an opportunity from range! And it stings the advertising boards behind the net. Miss out Rodriguez with a firecracker. That might have been contender for goal of the week. If it had been just a few more feet to the inside of the far post. Leroux, awkward header, does well. So too does Haas. Saul with the challenge from behind. Referee says Franken needs to rise to his feet. De Bruyne. It was an interesting one there as Jack Franca saw the charge coming from behind and decided to step into Ibrahim Assal. I think that's well spotted by the referee. Was inviting that contact on purpose. Here's Abarca, the goal scorer, at the byline. Will he try and go himself again? He will, but Worcester stops him in his tracks. Dirksen, head on a swivel. Quintero calling for it into space, and it was there for him. Ball just took an unfortunate hop over that right boot. Saul brought down, free kick. Keenan Hahn in no hurry to restart. Well intercepted, but when SKC2 managed to step up and break through, they aren't turning it into offense. It's been a while since Shane Donovan has had a touch of the ball. Misael Rodriguez was forced to have a go from 30-odd yards. Watt. Lovely ball, but he's upset at the backwards touch. Feliciano on the turn. Goes over. Referee not interested. Looked like there was some contact in there, but not enough. As the physicality of this game does start to crank up a notch or two. 40th minute now. If SKC2 are to find a way back into this one. They've been pinned very high here. And again, no call. Gonna be a gritty one in midfield. Player's gonna have to dig in. Had a big 50-50. Leg raise. Referee says play on. That looked a nasty challenge to Bruno Feliciano. It's a lovely idea. Saul onside. Big time stop. Jack Kortkamp with an excellent save. It was a beautiful through ball from the youngster, Eric Feliciano. Look at the vision here to turn and then split the two defenders. One touch to get it out of his feet and then tried to go low across goal. Kortkamp just getting big and taking away the angle. This portion of the match is brought to you by Siete, official partner of Austin FC2. Players still down for Austin. I believe that's Jules Berry. Frenchman joining the AS Monaco Academy from the age of 15. Appeared for the club at both U19 and U21 level. An academy that has produced some greats in recent years, most notably among which Kylian Mbappé. In fact, Jules Berry himself capped with the French national team at U16 level. This was the challenge. You can see there's a late leg in there. It's brave defending to go into that. That is a hefty tackle. And because of the recent rule in MLS Next Pro, Jules Berry will have to spend at least a minute off the pitch, so Austin temporarily will play with 10. Unless head coach Jason Shackle wants to use the substitution. At the moment, doesn't look like it. And Coach Shackle appealing for a yellow card. I think his appeals will go unanswered. Second ball, won well by Hott. Raced back to get the knockdown. SKC2 have a lot of numbers forward here. Austin can go direct. That's what they tried to do. Well read. Topo tackle in midfield starts the break. Saul with Feliciano to his left. Ibrahim Saul trying to play it forward. It's a bit of a force. And Feliciano will take it to the corner. No chance to go quickly. Here's De Bruyne. Maybe a bit of a let off there. Saul really put his foot through that pass and didn't need to. Also surprised he didn't take it himself. Had half a mind to go for goal. You could see where he was looking. He wanted to have a try. He's had a few shots saved by Jack Kortkamp, and maybe the goalkeeper just winning the mental duel this time around. Berry back on the field. Looks to be a-okay. Hot dropping in between the lines. Sent long. Saul waiting for it in the box. Abarca going over. Referee says penalty. Well, we've seen a lot of challenges in this game that haven't had a whistle. And right at the end of the first half, Austin with the chance to double their lead from 12 yards. It's the goal scorer wreaking havoc again, just slows his run, breaks at pace, and that's absolutely a penalty. Worcester steps across it, doesn't win the ball. And now a chance for Abarca to find his brace and double his tally of the season on the night. He's never scored a brace for the club. Referee with a final reminder for Kortkamp to stay on his line. Abarca to put some breathing room in between Austin and Kansas City before the break. 12 yards away from his first professional brace, Diego Abarca scores. Sneaks it underneath the right palm of Jack Kortkamp. Austin at the double shortly before the interval. It was his spot kick to take. Won it well, scored it well. Peeking out the bottom left corner. What a first half for Diego Abarca and for Austin FC 2. All fired up on home soil. That's now 5 unbeaten this season for Austin against Kansas City. 5 unanswered, rather, in terms of goal scoring. As we enter the first of 3 minutes at a minimum.
It's an Austin FC2 goal scored by number 7, Diego Abarca. His 4th of the season, 2nd of the match.
Well, we've seen a hat trick earlier this week. In fact, yesterday, Marcus Caldera got his 2nd of the season for Minnesota against St. Louis. Maybe Diego Abarca can notch another this weekend. A lovely little nutmeg. Haas on the prowl to the byline. Pulls it back just in front of Donovan. Nearly the perfect move to have the deficit as Feliciano slows the roll. Three minutes out of the minimum have come and gone. There likely will be a little bit more, given the spot kick. De Bruyne just sending it into the stratosphere. And a push in the back against Carter Dirksen. It's not the first time he's been warned. Austin just about ready to hear that halftime whistle. That one just kind of sent into no man's land. And they didn't have to wait long to hear it. Diego Abarca at the double to put Austin up 2-0 over Kansas City through 45 minutes of play. Coming up in our halftime show, MLS Next Pro with a heavy influence on the World Cup. A peek ahead at the future in Grand Rapids, plus highlights and our upcoming schedule after this timeout.
MLS Next Pro, Austin FC 2.
It's under lights. New soccer citadels rising from coast to coast. Every chant, every goal, another brick in a growing relief. Now, the world's biggest stage comes to our home. And when they arrive, they'll find the game's heartbeat has been here all along.
Welcome back. One of the new members of MLS Next Pro is seeing its new stadium taking shape, and hard hats always bring excitement. Let's check in on future club Grand Rapids.
I've learned moving here 5 months ago. So this is what Grand Rapids does. It comes together to build something that's really going to be a civic and community asset.
I just imagine, March 27 and, there's fireworks. The starting lineup is walking out and roaring and supporters chanting and, just get goosebumps kind of seeing, what this place is going to slowly start to mean, for this city and for this community. We're excited to be able to put a product on and off the pitch that's going to represent the community well.
The biggest sporting event in the world is embracing two ideas that started here. One designed to keep the game moving, another designed to better protect the players within it. Both were first tested in MLS Next Pro.
The league launched in 2022, but prior to that, there were 4 pillars that we came around, really rallied around, where we wanted to build and drive growth. Those 4 pillars were professional development, local communities, access, and innovation. The game has been around for over 100 years, but for the most part, a lot of the rules have stayed the same. But the game has evolved so much, particularly over the last 30 years.
MLS Next Pro has been a really good proving ground for a lot of these new rules that they're bringing into effect. The players in the competition have been very open to trying out new things. We've seen some really, really good developments, and a lot of the things that have been trialed in that competition have been elevated to MLS, and now we're seeing elevated to the FIFA level as well. This was something that it was easy for them to get their heads around. But I was pleasantly surprised to see them take this on in a format that's very, very similar to what we've been doing already.
Ideas don't become rules overnight. Changing the game meant bringing people together from every corner of the sport.
I think it took a lot of courage for us to implement some of the new rules, but we knew that if we did it in an authentic way and we got information from so many different stakeholders and parts of the game, that we could do it in a safe way that would help players, would help administrators and coaches, and really would be good for the sport.
Eventually, the conversation moved from meeting rooms to match day.
Well, I was fortunate enough to be a part of the first game ever with this in MLS Next Pro in 2022, where we got an email. We had to join a webinar where we had to go over these rules, and there was great understanding of how this was going to go and overview about these two specific rules that we're going to have implemented specifically for MLS Next Pro. So I really thought the on-field treatment rule was an awesome implementation, because that's something that we deal with a ton as referees. It's something that causes friction, always causes issues for game management when you have players going down for injuries and calling a trainer on when it's not necessarily a serious injury. So I knew initially that was going to be a fantastic one, that was going to be helping our game improvement. And then the substitution rule we knew was also going to be one of the ones that was going to help. So I was really looking forward to doing that one and implementing that, because it's something that's game management we have to deal with.
The expectation was that there would be an adjustment period, maybe even resistance. Nobody knew how the players would respond once the whistle blew.
Players bought into it really quickly, and it was something that the entire league was able to understand it, and really you saw buy-in from everybody, and it was just really easily implemented at MLS Next Pro, and really didn't see much pushback. The biggest thing that I've seen is where players are smart enough to know if they leave the field voluntarily with our permission, they don't have to wait a minute. So if they're near the sideline or the end line or something where they say, hey ref, I just need a minute, I'm gonna go off, perfect. They can go off and get whatever treatment they need to, and they know they don't have to wait the minute. You're getting your treatment that you have, you're not implementing any of the on-field treatment rules or anything, you're just taking yourself out of it for a second. So that's where players are really coming smart to how they handle things. And then for the substitution rule, I've seen several times where I would talk to a captain and I tell him the player has to come off, and he's not, and you see a captain or a teammate pushing that player off the field, because they know that if you're not off in that 10 seconds, they don't want to play for 10 at the disadvantage that they would have.
The changes on field were obvious, and the numbers told the same story.
The data was really compelling. If you look at the numbers before the rule was implemented, on average, for those stoppages associated with injuries that are 15 seconds or more, you really were looking at stoppages in games that were 5 to 6 times per game. Once we implemented the new rules, that number went down to between 1 and 1.5 times per game. And so the data was very, very compelling that when you implemented a rule like this, it really would reduce those preventable match delays. And that was really exciting for us. But when you do the analysis in terms of number of fouls and yellow cards and red cards and some of those metrics, we found that those remain consistent whether the rule was in place or not. And that was a positive dynamic for us. And it's one of the key indicators that the rule's working.
The experiment was working in MLS Next Pro and was brought to MLS 2 years later. That success pushed these ideas to the biggest stage in the game.
It's amazing that every single law change that comes into play comes from some competition or some situation that happened at maybe it was UEFA Champions League final, or maybe it was another World Cup that inspired a rule change. So to have from our own competition, coming from North America to have a rule change come into play for me, it's special, because I've been there from the very beginning. I've helped implement this from a management standpoint, so I'm excited to see how it's going to be implemented on the world stage by competitions, by referees, and by teams from around the world.
For the people who helped build it, the impact is still sinking in.
You never really understand the impact that you might have on the sport. And so to be part of MLS Next Pro and to be part of this process and leading this process as it relates to new rules and innovation has been a real shining star for me as it relates to my career. I'm just super excited and proud and grateful to be part of the process. I can't wait for the games to happen in the World Cup and to see them. These are important new rules for the growth of the game, so it's extremely rewarding, and I can't articulate how happy and proud I am.
In addition to those rules influences at this summer's FIFA World Cup, 105 players at the start of the tournament have spent time with an MLS club. with 44 of these players developed through the MLS player pathway. Of these 44 players, 19 spent time in MLS Next Pro. Fans can get a closer look at this historic group by heading to MLSNextPro.com. 45 minutes down between Austin and Kansas City, the second meeting this season between the two sides. Diego Abarca at the double after half number one. Still plenty of other action going on around the league. Plenty of movement as well, with Austin climbing into first place in the Western Conference as of right now. 34 points, 3 more than their in-state foe, Houston. As we take a look at what's next in the league, match week 16 starts on Wednesday. LAFC 2 take on MNUFC 2. Then on Friday, CT United will take on New York City FC 2. Both of those sides coming off a win in the midweek. And then Saturday, it's a full slate, kicking off with Timbers 2 and Quakes 2 at 4 p.m. Eastern, all the way through the end of the night with Rapids 2 and Vancouver. All of those matches available on MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. As for some of the matches that have wrapped up, there was the midweek win we talked about. CT United 4-0 over Cincinnati 2. MNUFC 2 scoring 5 goals for the first time in 4 years against St. Louis City 2. A big result there. Carolina Core got the win from the spot kicks as Vancouver won a 5-goal thriller against San Jose Wednesday night. As for this match, 45 minutes down. If you're just joining us, no better time as we take a look at the halftime highlights. It was all Austin to start this one. Dren De Bruyne picking it up in midfield and moved along to the far side by Mohamed Badawiya, who gets the assist as Diego Abarca takes one defender all the way to the top of the key and then rifles a shot into the roof of the net. That is some goal for the young man, his 3rd of the year, but he wasn't done there. That was the 22nd minute. A little bit later on, it was SKC2 looking a bit nervy at the back. This was a chance for Ibrahim Assal, whose name we've said a few times tonight. The flag did go up, whether he was onside or not. It's a great save by Jack Kortkamp, the flag then being raised. And then the other way, Misael Rodriguez had his name on a few shots, including this one from 30 yards out. It's an excellent effort. Not sure if Eric Lautza would have got there, dove to that right post, but that shot had some sauce on it. Then a little bit later, this is another chance for Ibrahim Assal. 1v1 onside this time, but Kortkamp gets big at the near post to make the stop. This was Abarca's second. It came from a penalty kick, which he won right at the byline. Tripped up all by himself, and the referee, with no hesitation, points to the spot. Left-footed strike into the bottom left corner. Nearly got a glove to it, Jack Kortkamp, but just sneaks under the goalkeeper as Diego Abarca wraps up the first half with a brace for Austin FC2. 2-0 through 45 minutes. We'll put 45 more minutes back on the clock when we return. See you soon.
They say the world's game is played everywhere. This is how we play it here. Every weekend across North America. From Vancouver's mountain rain to the shores of Florida. From the city of angels to the heartland. The world's brightest stars light up our fields.
Let's go.
And our fans bring the world to life. In every language, in every city. One game, one rule. sold-out nights under lights. New soccer citadels rising from coast to coast. Every chant, every goal, another brick in a growing relief. Now, the world's biggest stage comes to our home. And when they arrive, they'll find the game's heartbeat has been here all along.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, Philip Galati with you for MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. It is Diego Abarca at the double through 45 minutes of play. His third and fourth goal of the campaign see Austin FC 2 eke out a 2-goal cushion over Sporting Kansas City 2 after half number 1. It'll be the verde and black on the left side of your screen, SKC2 in the blue on the right, as they've made a change here. At least one. We'll get the confirmation your way shortly. But there definitely needed to be a bit of a switch up in terms of offense. Misael Rodriguez had the best chance of that first 45, and he was still about 30 yards out. And as a change at the back, after Sam Worcester conceded the penalty kick, Zane Wantland will take his spot. Member of the Sporting Kansas City U18s. Has been with the club since the U12s. Played all the way up, including the U19s, and now in MLS Next Pro. Joining the academy alongside Carter Dirksen, whose name we've said a few times tonight. No changes for Austin, though. Which means Diego Abarca at the bottom of your screen is still on a hat trick. Number 7 for the verde and black. So the second half is underway.
Number 72, Zane Wantland, replacing number 50, Sam Worcester.
Wantland only had a handful of appearances last year. He started almost every match this year. Just some rotation for the Missouri native, who has already committed a foul. Rather, won a foul, pardon me. So an interesting look as Mohamed Badawiya steps up a little bit higher out of possession, as we saw a couple times in that first half. Feliciano and Abarca dropping back. Almost like a 4-4-2 without the ball for Austin. So 4-3-3 on paper, certainly when they go forward. This is sounding once again. Didn't have a yellow card in that first half, including for the spot kick. Was judged to be a careless tackle rather than reckless. Line-breaking ball nearly fell to Abarca. Well read at the back, though, by Luca Anton Girolami. His second year playing up at age group, just 15 years of age. The SKC Academy man. He's been called up to the U.S. Youth National Team multiple times, including reaching the final of the 2025 CONCACAF U15 Championships. One of countless players to come through SKC2 through the years, from the academy to the second team and beyond. It's been amazing what this club has done in terms of establishing that pathway to the professionals. Of course, head coach Lita Sanchez coaching a lot of these players before they made their debuts with the second team in the academy levels. Badawiya still vying for it. Too much so, in fact, says the referee. Here's Wantland. Directing traffic as soon as he moves the ball along. Court camp now. Oh, it was great ideas on the one-touch passing to try and unlock things. A little bit too heavy, though, to take that one out of the air. Along the ground, one cleanly. Now Quintero. Rodriguez turning. Wanting to use his speed. Challenge came in from behind and he didn't see it coming. Pocket picked. Marcel Rodriguez, one of the leaders of this group, despite it being his first year with the club. 7 goals, 6 assists in 21 appearances with Quakes 2 last year, including a playoff goal. SKC2 hasn't been to the playoffs since 2023 when they lost in the first round to who else but Austin FC2. Of course, the Verde and Black lifting the MLS Next Pro Cup that year. Late whistle from the referee, no clear advantage. It'll bring it all the way back. Rodriguez again making things happen. Austin Press still holding strong. You can see how difficult it is to play through that line. Saul just shying away from it. Still pinballing around. Abarca able to settle and turn and given space and finding the overlap now with Chesla. First time cross right in front of goal. May have taken a touch through as Courtcamp was scrambling. Saul a half step late to the party. Feliciano. Let it roll under his foot and has to work back for it now. It's like moth to a flame. Austin FC2, as soon as they lose the ball, they absolutely hound the ball carrier in numbers. There's barely a chance to breathe for the visitors. As you can see now, shrugged off it. Saul sets it in front, took a deflection, and the whistle will sound for offside. Hott's goal is chalked off. But that is the high press and the intensity from Austin exemplified. And it does look like Saul is in an offside position there. And Russell gets a touch to the ball. It's awfully close. Our defender slips. This might open up now. Here's Haas. Well stopped. And a clever header back to him. A fist pump from Eric Lautza making the stop. It's a good strike this from Ty Haas. Another SKC Academy graduate. Kept it at a difficult height for him. 2 strong palms behind it. It's right in the danger zone. But how about the wherewithal and the presence of mind from Jules Berry just to head it back to his goalkeeper so he can pick it up. Completely allowed, by the way. Feliciano ran out of real estate. Player is allowed to head the ball back to the goalkeeper and have the goalkeeper pick it up. He can use any part of his body except his foot. Your shoulder, your stomach, your knee, your shin. The only thing they can't do per Law 12 is circumvent the rule in an unsportsmanlike way, which would be something along the lines of getting on all fours to head the ball back to the goalkeeper. That would be considered an unfair use of the back pass rule. But it requires excellent communication with the goalkeeper, and Jules Berry didn't catch his goalkeeper by surprise, was able to communicate before heading it back to him. Otherwise, that could have ended very poorly. Lovely line-splitting ball. Feliciano back up top, and Badawia has swiped across it. Picks his head up on the left foot. No chance for his second of the season there. Leaning way back as he went to strike it, and now a pocket of space on the far side. Quickly given right back, though. Rodriguez used his arm. Says it comes off his chest. Referee disagrees. This portion of the match is brought to you by Austin Energy, official partner of Austin FC2. Abarca. Checking all the way back into midfield, Diego Abarca. He might want to get higher since he's on the hat trick, but putting the needs of the team over that of the individual, as any good team player does. Saul. Bearing down on goal. Loses a defender. It's Ibrahim Saul! And it's very nearly 3. Difficult angle. Likely asking more of himself after the play. On that weaker left foot. Does so well to lose Pierre Leroux. Bouncing ball, and again, Kortkamp with good goalkeeping, closing him down. Saul tries to go high to no avail. Second change for head coach Lee Toussaint. 15-year-old Luca Anton Girolami will be replaced.
Now in number 35, Mitch Ferguson. Replacing
As Mitch Ferguson will take his spot. Grew up in Illinois, played his college ball not too far down the road with Notre Dame. Regular season champion. 8 goals and 8 assists from the back across 70 appearances for the Fighting Irish after coming up through the SKC Academy. Elsewhere around the league, Red Bulls New York 2 rallied late to put 5 unanswered past Toronto. Philadelphia with a 2-1 win over Orlando. Austin looking to add a third. Defender goes down. Badawia. Left it behind. Cut away for now. Here's Hot coming back in. Saul is in the way. Really corralled it himself. Remember, the action far from over after this match tonight. Tacoma Defiance and Real Monarchs kick off in 10 minutes time. We hope you'll tune in after this match on MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. Watt. Given time. Center back striding forward. Sees a lot of space on the near side with Daniel Cheshla. Cheshla still going. Saul making the run. Instead, back foot. Abarca going down as he went to strike it. Frustrated that he couldn't do more with it. Was closed down very quickly by Zane Wantland. And normally in that scenario, with a defender driving right at goal like that, Daniel Cheshla, you think he'd be closed down, but Wantland staying wide, covering the option, knowing that Abarca has the hot foot, and turned that pass into a bit of a forced option at the end, and then able to come and close down the space. It's really wise defending from the 18-year-old. Touch and go is a clever one. Defender left in his wake. Haas to the byline. Wanted to blow by another. Didn't have the speed. Or the space, really. And the wind whipping as well down in that far corner. Should make the delivery very interesting. Outswinging ball against the wind, which takes a good bit of it. Player goes down in the box. Here's Donovan whipping it right back in. First header away, settled by Leroux. And that is a center half's volley in the end. This portion of the match is brought to you by Woom, official partner of Austin FC 2. About a half hour to go now here at Palmer Field. It is still Diego Abarca's goals in the 22nd and 45th minute to separate these two sides. The second meeting this season. Austin pushing for a third. Leroux in the way of the shot. Brave defending this time at the other end of the pitch. And he will be needing to be checked out by the athletic training staff. Well, any sort of suspected head or neck injury is an immediate stoppage per the laws of the game. That does come right off the upper body, and it's a scary fall, too. He looks to be alert for now. Of course, never want to speculate on these kind of things, but he's sitting up and chatting with the medical staff, which is important to see. As KC2 do have 3 substitutions remaining. They're permitted up to 2 more for a possible concussion protocol if the athletic trainer determines that is necessary. Austin have yet to use their first substitution of the night. Pierre Leroux is still being attended to. As it looks like he's able to pop back up. That is, of course, the first concern is player safety. He's able to walk off the field on his own power. Chance for Lee Toussaint to issue his charge with his side. So Leroux will spend at least a minute off the pitch. SKC2 will await word if they are to use a substitution. Looks to be jogging it off. Always want to be careful with these sorts of things, though. And the referee having a discussion now as to how to restart play. It will be a drop ball. I think it's just going to be kicked back. And it will be, and Leroux races back to his post, which is the best outcome. Good to see that he's all right. That was really nice movement from Austin there before it was cut away. Feliciano's pass well read. A bit of a different look offensively. Michel Rodriguez almost in a two-striker tandem with Shane Donovan. Hasn't seen very much of the ball tonight. May get a chance now with the free kick. Clever little dummy from Rodriguez. Oh, this is a lovely play, but it's overhit. It's the best move we've seen in quite some time from SKC2. Just the ingenuity, the back heel, the dummy run, the through ball into space. Interplay is starting to turn the cogs a little bit for SKC2, and it's a poor mistake at the back for Austin FC2. Leroux. Ball roll forward. And a few more touches for the Frenchman. But a miscommunication on the pass through. Bit of a letdown there for the visitors. Now head coach Jason Shackle getting ready for a few changes of his own. I mentioned the rotation of this side, how deep this Austin roster is. Looks like it will be a double change being ready. The assistant waves the flag.
Substitution for your Austin
As Keenan Hott will come off, Jacob Barrow will take his spot, the Leganés Academy product. And then up top, Diego Abarca will have no chance to get his hat trick. But an excellent brace tonight as he is replaced. Patrick Kayeli will come onto the front line. Kayeli, a unanimous first-team All-Ivy selection. And a United Soccer Coach's second-team All-Northeast nod at Penn, where he led the Quakers in goals and assists last year. Again, another player who has started almost every match this year. Getting some minutes now off the bench. As Johan Ortiz has entered for SKC2 in place of Gael Quintero in the heart of midfield. Flurry of changes in the 68th minute now. Berry looking for help. One-time pass open. Saul able to get there. Cheshla. Plenty of time afforded to Badawia. There's not that same pressure in midfield from SKC2 as Austin FC2 have exemplified. There's time to open up on the back and on the ball. Called for it through. Look, oh, that is some touch to pluck that out of this guy. Made it look so easy. Maybe. Franca. Now Leroux again. Ferguson trying to keep the shape. And it's an errant pass out of the back from the substitute. Austin well on their way to now 12 games unbeaten. You've heard the support in the stands tonight. Head coach Jason Shackle had a chance to tell us about it earlier this week, saying, quote, "The city has really embraced us. They love it. The fans, supportive, passionate. It gives the players the added want to be part of this environment, to climb up to the first team and beyond." And of course, with the results that this team has been getting, it's been drawing more and more to the crowds. And Coach Shackle says from the first team all the way down to the youngest team in the academy, there is that passion, the energy. These fans embrace them wholeheartedly. Now 20 minutes away from a historic 12th game unbeaten. Of course, the 2023 MLS Next Pro Cup champions, the 2024 Campeones Invitational champions. A club that was just one win short of the postseason last year. Now back on top in the Western Conference. Jason Shackle, of course, a man who has been with the club for a while now. Was the coach of the U16s before taking over the second team. He's been with the organization since 2021. Has helped mentor a lot of these players to where they are now. Now in the last 20 minutes or so, he says it's all about chasing the dominance, making sure we keep our foot on the gas pedal and see this result out. Back heel came up empty and then falls comfortably for Lauta. High press from SKC2, and they've won a corner kick. Careless in possession from Mohamed Badawia. Haven't had very many corners tonight, SKC2. What a chance this would be to have the deficit. Swept in, headed down. It was Saul working back for it. It's over his head this time around. Now Donovan! 2-1. Shane Donovan finally gets his glimpse at goal and makes no mistake. An excellent finish to put SKC2 right back in this one. Waiting patiently at the top of the box for the second ball to come his way. One touch out of his feet and then fired perfectly into the bottom right corner. We mentioned the impact he can have on this game at the start of the match. He's been waiting all night long to make that impact. And now Shane Donovan gets his 4th goal of the season. With 4 goals as well to his name, though, is Kashawn Hines, who has just come on to replace Shane Donovan. It will be no clean sheet for Eric Lauta tonight. This game will go down to the wire. So they've brought on the skipper here, Austin. Mohamed Badawia's night has come to a close. Jorge Alastoe will enter off the bench for the first time this season to assure this result.
Sporting KC2 goal scored in the 72nd minute by number 88, Shane Donovan. Substitutions for both teams.
That is some finish from Donovan.
Now in number 77.
What a way to leave the match with your last kick of the night.
Number 88, Shane Donovan.
Left behind, Russell second to it.
Austin FC2 in the 70.
Keep an eye on Alasue, who's on the ball now. He loves the dribble.
Jorge
More often
Alasue.
than not, he can beat his man.
Mohamed Badawi.
Alasue continues his run. Lovely movement from Austin, who nearly get their 3rd in quick succession. Patrick Kaeli had the final touch, and it whiskers wide of the far post. SKC2 have yet to be blanked since the last time they played Austin back in May. They have found a lifeline now with plenty of time. It was the high press that forced an errant pass out of the back. Rodriguez, unlucky not to get a second bite of the apple there. Hines with the fresh legs to start that high press. Second ball, though, won by Austin. Going to be a completely different look to the last 15 minutes of this game or so, as the hosts get a call. And the referee will stop the free kick for the hydration break. Well, now, the last 15 minutes ought to be a good one.
The referee has indicated that a cooling break will commence. The break will last up to 3 minutes.
Shane Donovan has pulled one back on the road in the 72nd minute for SKC2. The Bostonian getting his first goal since a brace against Tacoma all the way back on May the 3rd. Was born in Beantown, but joined the SKC Academy ahead of the 2021 season. He represented the U15s, U17s, U18s, the U19s, including captaining the U17s to a 2024 Generation Adidas Cup and the MLS Next playoffs. A shining star of their academy system. Has broken through the Austin night sky. Quick hydration break and we're back underway. Contested decision on the far side. Looks like it'll go the way of the hosts. This portion of the match is brought to you by St. David's Healthcare, official and exclusive healthcare partner of Austin FC2. Neat little turn. Kansas City have numbers here. Options either side. Still going. Hines trying to turn. Had it picked away from him. Now Wandland to the back post towards Hines. Difficult header. He wants the corner kick and he's got it. SKC2 have looked completely different since the goal. Life restored, renewed, rejuvenated. Hines trying to spin with it, couldn't keep it under his toe. Wandland with a decent ball in. Had to make the defender work for it. They scored off their last corner in roundabout fashion. This one played short. Not sure if that was the plan. Franco to recycle. Everybody's up still. That's a much better ball in. Rodriguez trying to track it down. Falls to Wandland, who lets it bounce, and a big challenge. And referee does have the first yellow card of the night out. But it is for, I believe, Jorge Alastue. Well, Wandland ended up in a heap. The referee saying Jorge Alastue backed into him, which caused him to lose his balance in midair. We'll take a look at it. Wandland lets it bounce there. And then, no, it's Alastue jumping over the back of him. Alastue only been on the pitch 6 minutes. He's already in the book. And we know the danger that SKC2 has from set pieces. Ortiz whipped in. Headed to the far side of the key. Leroux keeps it in play, but has to force it all the way back. Stamped back in towards danger. Powerful header away as wires are crossed. Haas coming up with it. Leroux to the top of the 6. Goalkeeper didn't get there. Ortiz's shot blocked. And now Austin can break. Urged on by the home faithful. Alastue has to wait for backup. Feliciano completes the 1-2. Alastue with patience in the box. It took a deflection. The chance fizzles out. Game really starting to open up now, breaking down a little bit tactically. '82nd minute. Tacoma and Real Monarchs are underway. That match scoreless for now. It's a lovely idea. It's overhit. Court camp. Directing traffic. Wanted Ferguson to step up a little bit. He has space, instead moves it along. That's a nervy ball, somehow able to thread 3 Verde and black shirts, St. Wandland. Contested header, and there may have been a foot left in after the fact. The fans want a yellow, and they will get one. Ty Haas was second to the bouncing ball. Just left something in the challenge there against Dred De Bruyne.
It's a yellow card on Sporting KC to number 70, Ty Haas, in the 83rd minute.
And a bouncing ball like that, you have to time a challenge well. Otherwise, studs can get raised and it can get a little bit hairy. As it looks like there may be one or two more players readying up for Austin to try and assure this result. Great ball through. Flag stays down against Saul. Trying to stick with it. Too many bodies back. Franca covering the ground to make the tackle. There's a change being readied for head coach Jason Shackle, issuing his final instructions. Feliciano. Alastue wants it. Just over the head of the midfielder covering him. Here's Alastue. He'll have a go. Slices across the bouncing ball. Looks like it just sat up for him right at the end. A little bit too high. It went for power rather than placement. You can see it's taking an awkward hop. It's behind his plant foot. He overcompensates for power. The cleanest strike he's ever had, but developing that hunger for goal in the final few minutes here. Long throw towards Saul. Return to sender. Saul fighting for it and runs out of real estate. It will be a double change for Austin. Their final two of the night.
Substitutions for your Austin FC2 in the 86th minute. Now in, number 11, Patrick Krzyzewski.
Eric Feliciano will be brought off.
Number 3, Dred De Bruyne.
So too will Dred De Bruyne.
Artem
In for them is
Dashkovitz.
Artem Dashkovitz and Patrick Krzyzewski.
Eric Feliciano.
Both players making their Austin FC2 debuts in this campaign. Krzyzewski had 2 appearances last year off the bench. Dashkovitz, the Ukrainian, his maiden year with the club. Try and see this out. Those will be the final substitutions of the night. 87th minute. Is there a late equalizer in store for the visitors? Barrow got a touch to it. Almost worked out in Kansas City's favor. Sent all the way up towards Saul. Can start the counter if he can bring it down. Being hounded from behind, and that'll be a yellow card. Thumbs up as well from Blaine Maybe, who knows he was taking one for the team there.
It's a yellow card on Sporting KC to number 48, Blaine Maybe.
You can see the jersey pull all the way from here. What they call a tactical Tactical foul. Didn't want to take his chances on the counter attack with the speed of Ibrahim Assal. Hines leading the press. Out of forced long and forced out of possession. Since the goal, SKC2 have really bossed the tempo of this match, as well as possession. They've controlled the flow of the game well. They need to turn it into shots on goal, though, if they are to force a shootout. As a reminder, if we are tied after 90 minutes plus of play, both teams will pick up a point. We go to a best-of-5 penalty kick shootout to determine who gets a second point. Austin FC2 currently atop the West with 34. If this ends in a tie, they will go to 32 and still be the conference leaders over Dynamo Dos. 89th minute. Hines waiting in the area, so too Rodriguez. Waiting for the service from Maybe. Swung in, and both players check to the front post. And it's out of play comfortably for Austin. Wantland. Eyes now starting to take a gander toward the fourth official. How much time will be added on? Here's Rodriguez. Brave sliding challenge. Alastue will slow it. Barrow. Austin just trying to keep the ball. Somehow able to do so. Barrow spots the swing. Jacka Barrow does well to fight through the contact. Austin predictably in no rush to get the ball back in play.
The fourth official has indicated that there will be a minimum of 4 minutes of added time.
It is 4 minutes added on for SKC2 to save a shootout and a point on the road. Otherwise, it is Austin FC2 going atop the West. 3 points clear. SKC2 still yet to win a match on the road this season. They've allowed now 44 goals, the most of any team in MLS Next Pro this season. One more would assure it for Austin. Defending with all their might for now. Everybody behind the ball for the Verde and Black. Wantland. Burns. Clipped up towards Krzyzewski. Turning out of trouble. Not cleared away convincingly. Oh, there's a big hack against Hines. Russell is late to it. The referee has a decision to make here. It's a Kansas City free kick, but is there more punishment? 50-50 ball, and that is a big time connection with Russell. Went to clear that ball as hard as he could, and maybe fortunate only to pick up a yellow there just because the force of that tackle. Hines still limping in some real discomfort. It was brave from the 17-year-old to go after that one. Now this is a long way out, but it's not impossible for Misael Rodriguez. It would take something mighty special here. Crossed into the box and through everybody. Overhit. Marcel Russell, who scored his first career goal against SKC2 last time out, gets away with conceding the free kick. '94th minute of the minimum 94. Out of his area and does well. Immediately gets the countdown started. Rodriguez standing right in front. That's a good win on the knockdown for Chesla, who has a check of the shoulder and plays Alasue into space, who doesn't want to go to the corner. Instead goes for goal. Still Alasue. Just trying to keep it. Coach Destanchette furiously barking out orders to see if his side can steal it back. They'll get a chance here. They gotta go quick. One last heave. If Leho can send it long, he doesn't have time. He's got to get it going. Fans beckoning for the final whistle. It looks like the referee's going to let this one go. A last chance for the visitors. Can they steal a point? It's forced back. Still the game goes on. Trevor Burns for Zane Wantland. Down to the wire. Leho switches the point of attack. Bouncy ball sent in. Still loose. Miss hit. Saved. Leho still alive. And that does it. Austin FC2, hold on. Their record 12th result in a row sees the Verde and Black go atop the Western Conference on home soil. Diego Abarca's brace lifts the home side over SKC2 by a score of 2-1. So, of course, who else to award tonight's Man of the Match honors to than number 7? The Man of the Match is presented by Adidas. Diego Abarca from the spot and from open play with his 3rd and 4th of the year. His first brace as an Austin FC2 player. The Texas native was on fire tonight. This was the first goal, and it is some finish as well. That back in the 22nd minute, and then this was the penalty in first half stoppage time. The game winner snuck underneath the goalkeeper to wrap up all 3 points. Jason Shackles, Austin FC2 are atop the West in MLS Next Pro. That'll do it, though, for us tonight. Make sure you tune in now to the Tacoma Real Monarchs game. But for everyone here at Palmer Field, it finishes 2-1, Austin over Kansas City. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. I'm Philip Galati saying so long and good night.
League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.